Oh God, I can't. I think it's this one that needs to go off. Hello, 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 hello. Yes, 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 yes. How are we all doing, one and all? Welcome back to the channel. I don't know what to, there's not any breaking news, but I feel like I need to come on here. And this feels like a yearly thing where I've got to come on the channel and address people's concerns about transfers. Guess what? We're gonna be fine. This ain't Caicedo. This ain't Lavia. This. I understand that people are a little bit, worried, a little bit hurt, a little bit this, that, and the third. But guess what? We are fine. We have top guys in place to make it work. Big ups Liam Belson as well for the super chat. Hope you're good, lad. Retegi over Ekitike, and we need a centre back. I will touch on all this in this stream. I'm going to be running for about an hour, I think. But firstly, before we get into anything, I want to say thoughts and prayers go out to anyone who was affected at the parade and the incidents of the parade. Tarnished what was a brilliant day. Obviously, I couldn't. I didn't want to stream. The day afterwards, it just didn't feel right. I'm glad. The best news is that no one was killed. All the people who were severely injured are recovering well in the hospital. The culprit is in police custody. Everything's going well. So hopefully within time, we can remember that day for what it should have been, which was a fantastic day of celebration rather than a day of tragedy, which it turned out to be. So my thoughts and prayers go to anyone who was affected by that instance at the parade. But let's get into this. If you're new, not already, make sure to hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content. I think we need to start with Florian Wirtz because last Wednesday, was it last Wednesday, last Thursday? I don't remember. Last week at some point we got the news that Florian Wirtz wanted Liverpool as his next club, and he the clubs were in negotiations to get this news sorted and done and dusted, and it was going to be a club record deal. Now I'm going to say something that might shock some people. Club record transfers take time. Club record transfers take a bit of time. They do not get done and dusted within a day. They don't get done and dusted within 2 days. They take time to get sorted because you're talking about structure of a deal. You're talking about how you're going to weight this deal across years of payments. Because Liverpool are in a very good financial situation at the minute. But the reason we're in a very good financial situation is because we take care of the deals that we do. And we don't make stupid deals where we're paying an awful lot of money up front. So it'd be very stupid if we started trying to do that just to get a deal done quickly. The lad says he wants to join Liverpool. That's mega. That's the biggest thing that people need to be looking at. Florian Wirtz wants to join Liverpool Football Club. He wants to join Liverpool Football Club. Thanks to Sam. Thank you, mate. Thanks, buddy. But Florian Wirtz wants to join. This isn't like a Caicedo. This isn't like a Lavia, where the players were and ahhing about joining. We threw out an offer and then they went, you know what, actually I don't want to join. Florian Wirtz has given his word that he wants to join Liverpool. He's told Bayer Leverkusen, let me go and join Liverpool Football Club. He has turned down Bayern Munich and he has turned down Manchester City because he wants to join Liverpool Football Club. That is all people need to be on about. Do not worry about, he's going to change his mind. He might join back. No, he's turned down Bayern. He has turned down Manchester City. He has told his club he wants to join Liverpool. Real Madrid cannot afford him. People are asked about the story that came out yesterday. Look at this story that came out in Diario As. The story basically revolved around... It was an opinion piece that revolved around the idea, this really good idea, this really logical idea that because Liverpool wouldn't let Trent Alexander-Arnold go to the Club World Cup for free, Real Madrid will now pay 150 million euros to spice us for a player that doesn't fit in. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty fucking stupid, don't you? That sounds pretty fucking stupid. Why would Real Madrid, just because we're not letting a player go for free, before the contract expires, all of a sudden ruin any, potential business they've got to do this window by buying a player who doesn't fit in with their attack? Because Florian Wirtz plays off the left, but they've already got Vinicius and Mbappe who want to play off the left. So you put an element of critical thinking towards this dilemma, and you realise very quickly that it's actually just bollocks. It's actually just bollocks. Like, I'm sick to death of it, of the constant carry on. Deals like this take time. We are talking about £132 million. If we paid all our up fronts, our business is done. Our business is done for the window. Because you've got to bear in mind, we don't get transfer fees all in one go. If we sell Nunes for 80 million quid, which we're not going to, but if we sold Nunes for 80 million quid, we don't get the 80 million quid in hand that day. There'll be elements of instalments behind it. There'll be elements of add-ons behind it. Performance-based add-ons. We're not the only club that uses them. Clubs that buy our players use them. So we need to be more understanding of how transfer deals work. These take time. It takes time, people. A club record transfer takes time. I have zero worries or zero nerves about this Florian Wirtz deal. None of you should either. None of you should either. But I do want to touch on something, because there's another thing about the Florian Wirtz stuff that's been interesting me. Where's he going to play? Where is Florian Wirtz going to play? So, there have been people suggesting that he goes out here in Gakpo's position. There's people like me initially who suggested that he would go in Diogo Jota's position and we would play double false 9. And there's the other camp, which is Liverpool gets a striker, Florian Wirtz goes in the 10. Which do I think is the most likely? Which do I think is the most likely? For me, the more I think about it, if we take Robertson out and we take Bradley out and we add in Frimpong and we add in Kerkez, I think the most likely outcome is you get a striker. I don't think that if you play Wirtz off the left in our current system, I think you're wasting. Florian Wirtz is one of the most flexible footballers going. When you look at his heat map for Bayer Leverkusen, it is basically, that's colours. Where's squares? There it is. This entire fucking area is red. That's how much ground, that's how much fluidity, that's how much flexibility in his position Florian Wirtz has as a footballer for Bayer Leverkusen. So if we spend 100 odd million on him, how do I get rid of this shit? There you go. If we spend 100 odd million on him and then just limit him to standing there so Kerkez can go there, or standing there so Kerkez can go there, what's the fucking point? You might as well not pay for them. So, what our wingers do, they have that dynamic on lock. Gakpo is very good at knowing when to go there, or when to go there, or when to sit there. And then when Salah has the ball, he's very good at knowing when to go there or there. The wingers have a very strong dynamic already. You add in the attacking fullbacks, I need a winger who's good at that. I should be putting Florian Wirtz here so he can go wherever the fuck the ball is. If the ball is on the left, he can go there. If the ball is on the right, he can go there. If the ball is in the middle, he can go there. I need Florian Wirtz to be involved in all aspects of my play. If he is stuck out here, he cannot do that. I am not spending 130 million quid on a player to be a facilitator for Milos Kerkez. So, the more I think about it, the more I think that Florian Wirtz goes there. Gakpo is not good at overlapping, he will ruin Kerkez. Do I engage with this? Do I engage with this utter bollocks? If you want a winger who is crap at playing with a fullback, where is he? Where the fuck is he? It's him. It's him. He's crap at playing with a fullback. He has never, ever, ever had good chemistry with any one of our fullbacks. Not Robertson. Not Tsimikas. Diaz doesn't play well with whatever fullback we have. He doesn't. So, you know who does? Gakpo. Let's go back to Crystal Palace early this season, when we won 1-0 at Selhurst Park. The goal comes from lovely link-up between Gakpo and the fullback, leading to a cross which Diogo Jota put in the net. Gakpo knows how to play with a fullback. Diaz plays solo football. If I'm spending the money on Milos Kerkez, I need a winger who knows how to play with his fullback. Therefore, Cody Gakpo is my first choice. Let's also not forget that Luis Diaz is also the subject of massive interest from Saudi Arabia. And I am not turning down the money they are offering me for Luis Diaz. So, it leaves this gap here. If we're going for a striker, I need to find one. This is the guy who's been linked with us the most recently, Hugo Ekitike. If you've watched me on any platform, you know I'm not his biggest fan. You know I'm not his biggest fan. I think there's an awful lot of work that needs to be done with him. And I don't want us to be doing another 3 years of Project Striker bollocks where I have to watch him miss chance after chance after chance just to be told, oh, wait till he puts it all together. He'll be boss when he puts it all together. Once he starts kicking the ball in the net, no one will stop him. All this bollocks. Well, that makes no fucking sense. If all Gakpo wants to do is cut in and cross, why would he overlap? Because you don't overlap to cut in and cross. You don't. Buy an offer 80 for Gakpo, you taking yes or no? No, because I'm taking the 80 for Diaz. So, Ekitike. What he is, he's a very raw striker. There's a lot of technical quality. There's a lot of technical quality there, or there, or there. You know, he can drop in, he can run in behind. He's got a nice little dribble, yada, 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 yada. But if I've got Wirtz, if I've got Salah, if I've got Gakpo, if I've got McAllister joining attacks, if I've got Kerkez, if I've got Frimpong, I do not need a striker whose main attributes are, oh, look at him, he can pass the ball nicely. You know what I want for the first time in a couple of years? What I want is a cold-blooded killer in front of goal. I want someone who, if I give them chances, will kick it in the net more times than not. Hugo Ekitike is not that. He's not. This man is. For half the price, let me get this straight. For half the price of Hugo Ekitike, that's right, Retegi's half the price of Hugo Ekitike. Hugo Ekitike is 100 million euros, Retegi's 50. For half the price, I get someone who's a better finisher. I have someone who is just as good at forms of link-up. I have someone who is good in the air. I have someone who is strong against a defender. That is who I want. Matteo Retegui is the perfect answer. He can finish off his left, off his right, in the air. The man has scored 25 goals this season, 10 with his left, 10 with his right, 5 with his head. That's right. 10 with his left, 10 with his right, 5 with his head. This is perfectly balanced. Retegui's technically not Italian. Retegui's technically not Italian. He is technically Argentine. You, Liverpool Football Club, I'm speaking to you, Michael Edwards, I'm speaking to you, Richard Hughes. You cannot let this opportunity pass you up. 50 million quid for the Serie A top scorer. 50 million, in fact, it's not quid, it's 50 million euros. What's that? 41 million quid. 41 million quid for a guy just about to move into his prime, who has just been the Serie A top scorer, and still has years left to give. I don't see why you don't do it. I don't see why people are ruling this house. This is the perfect solution. You get him there, and you can do whatever the fuck you want with dynamics. Because you know what? If it's like that, Salah can cross, double back post. Or it draws players away, Salah can shoot. Florian Wirtz then just gets complete license to go here. And then link up with Retegui. Nice little 1-2s. Get Florian Wirtz right in front of goal. Bang. Get Florian Wirtz right in front of goal. Bang. Or get Salah in front of goal. Or get Gakpo in front of goal. People have not watched Matteo Retegui this year. They haven't. Matteo Retegui's been one of the best strikers in Europe this season. He's been one of the best strikers in Europe. And people will say, oh, it's his first good season in Europe. He also had before he joined Genoa, who were also not a very good team, so he only got 9 goals with them. Before he joined Genoa, he was killing it in Argentina. So let me ask you this. The people who, in my chat who would turn their nose up at Retegui, why are you not turning your nose up at Victor Gyökeres? If you turn your nose up at Retegui, why are you not turning your nose up at Victor Gyökeres? Please. That's just something I'm eager to know. Big ups, Low Sam Pow. Calm down. Real is knocking, mate. We've seen this club bottling many deals. I don't think he will sign for us because of our owners, how stingy they are. Look, I'm not gonna insult you because you have kindly supported the channel. But Low Sam Pow, our owners have agreed to pay whatever fee is required for Florian Wirtz. Money is not a problem. Real are not knocking. It was an opinion piece written by an Evertonian based on the notion that Real Madrid, to spite us for not giving them Trent Alexander-Arnold for £1 million, will now pay €150 million for a player they don't need, and a player who doesn't fit their system, all because he used to play under Xabi Alonso, despite the fact that Florian Wirtz has given us his word and has turned down the 2 clubs that were seriously interested in him in Manchester City and Bayern Munich. This is not the same as any of the deals in the past, but thank you for the support. So, what are people saying? Not turning my nose up at Retegui, but Gyökeres has been banging goals for years now. Victor Gyökeres scored 20 goals in the Championship, which is decent numbers, but we didn't want him when he was in the Championship. Then he went to Portugal and scored a boatload of goals. Retegui scored a boatload of goals in Argentina, came to Serie A, had one down year where he got 9, and then this year's got 25 in Serie A, which is a much better league than the Portuguese league. I really don't see how it's comparable. People need to realise it's the way Gyökeres scores his goals. He scores a lot of transition goals. There is a wonderful fact about Retegui that I don't have on hand, but someone showed me and I can back it up. Matteo Retegui scored 0 fast break goals this season. That means 0 goals where it's direct off a counter-attack, which means that Matteo Retegui is the kind of guy you have for a possession-based system. For a possession-based system, Retegui is the perfect striker to have because he can score 25 fucking goals He can score 25 fucking goals despite not needing counter-attacks. You can put him there and you can spend 2 minutes doing nice little tippy-tappy, edge of box, you know, put him there, da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, we got all the build-up, having bitches there, da-da-da-da-da-da, nice little passing, and he will be waiting for the entire time for the ball. For the entire time for the ball. For the entire time for the little half chance, bang, in the back of the net. I don't see how people aren't on this Retegi train. For half the price of Ekitike, for more than half the price of Benjamin Sesko, for less than Joao Pedro. Who else is there? For less than Victor Osimhen. Who else? Which other shit strikers are there on the market? For less than Mateus Cunha. There is not a better value for money striker. There is not a better value for money striker. Let me repeat this one last time. There is not a better value for money striker who helps in the immediate short term to maximise the Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk window, and then still has room beyond their time to be in their prime and develop and continue to help this team than Matteo Retegi. The man is 26, not 34. What we've seen is that players now have longer periods in their pomp. They have longer periods in their pomp. So a guy who is 26 could well last up until he's 34. That is 8 years. That is 8 years of top flight quality football. The fact people are putting their nose up at this man joining the football club is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. We should not be sitting there going for a Hugo Ekitike. We should not be sitting there going for a Benjamin Sesko. We should not be sitting there going for any of these other young, raw, potential strikers. We need someone who right here, right now, bangs goals into net at a rate that is quality. At a rate that is complete quality. That is Matteo Retegi. That is Matteo Retegi to an absolute T. Left foot, right foot, header, link-up play. There is not a better fit on the market. People, I implore you to go watch anything you can of Matteo Retegi. Come back to me next stream and say, Tom, you were right. Matteo Retegi is the perfect striker. And I won't hold it against you. I won't hold it against you. I won't. If you go to my Twitter, there's a 7-minute comp of his link-up this season, and there's a 4-minute comp of his goals this season. That's what you're after. That's what we should be looking at. He's done it for 1 season, Tom. He's shite. Hugo Ekitike's done it for half a season, and yet people are all over him. Victor Gyökeres has done it for 2 seasons, and people are all over him. The market is not giving me a multitude of world-beater strikers, but what it's giving me is players with upsides. Matteo Retegi was the top scorer in the Argentine League 2 seasons ago for a team that shouldn't really have been competing. He then moved to Genoa, got 9 goals for a Genoa team that wasn't very good, went to Atalanta, a team that is based around attack, and scored 25, and won Serie A top scorer. If you cannot see a guy with the minerals there, then I don't know what else I can say to convince you. That's a guy who has everything to work with. It's a guy who has everything to work with. Retegi will cost more than 50 million. They'll likely sell looking at first too, which will make negotiations more difficult. Plus, it's his first season with Atalanta. Lots of time on his contract remaining. The big difference, though, is... what's it called? The fucking manager. Gasperini's going. Gasperini's leaving Atalanta. And Gasperini was a big pull for a lot of these players to go to Atalanta. I could see a bit of an exodus out of Atalanta. I really, really could. And Atalanta are a team that will sell. They sold fucking Højlund after a year. They've sold plenty of players after 1 or 2 years. If we give them the money, they will take that they will bite for Retegi. That's why I'm on it. That's why I look at it and I'm all over it. Pletty goal. Leverkusen trying to get a player out of Liverpool. Part exchange for Wirtz. I'll be honest, I think the smart move there is Harvey Elliott. I think Harvey Elliott should be going to Bayer Leverkusen. It's a league which suits his physicality. It's a league which suits his technical ability. It's a chance for him to stand out at a team that, whilst it is, Erik ten Hag as manager, it's a team that will be competing for Champions League football. It's a team that will be, competing for big honours in Germany. It's a good place for him to become a bit of a star player, a bit of a star man, and then come back to England after a year or two, maybe even 3, and be ready to kickstart his career again. I'm gutted Harvey Elliott will be going, but it's how it goes. At the end of the day, I back the manager. The manager's won me the league title. If he doesn't think that Harvey Elliott suits his plan, Harvey Elliott doesn't suit his plan. It is what it is. It is what it is. But Harvey Elliott, if he was to go, opens up an interesting possibility for how much this deal is actually going to cost. Because if Harvey Elliott goes, and it's a part exchange rather than 2 separate deals, Florian Wirtz might not be our club record transfer, which would be devastating because it means Darwin Núñez remains the club record transfer. Really, really devastating. But I've said my bit on Matteo Retegi and why he's right. Let me just preface this. This man is the best option, 100 million %. The best option on the market. Julian Alvarez is the perfect guy, but I don't think Julian Alvarez will be available. Gone. Yeah, I don't think the manager leaving will drastically decrease his value to €50 million when they sold Højlund for 70 plus with less time on his contract plus tough negotiators in general. But Retegi is 6 years older than Højlund was when he was sold, and Retegi has a lot less of the hype for some reason. And I'm pretty sure Retegi has a release clause in there that's around about 50. I think it's €55 million. What's the other one? Kerkez. Obviously, this whole week it's been the whole Kerkez thing. I do expect the Kerkez stuff to pick up over the coming days. I do expect at least one. Here we go. By the end of week, by the end of play tomorrow. Whether it is Kerkez or Wirtz, I don't know. But I do expect a here we go on one of them. Kerkez, brilliant signing. Suits the dynamic of what we're going for. We all know that. Prices, it's not cheap, but Liverpool, you got to pay for quality options. You've got to pay for quality options, and at the end of the day, that's what it is. You know what? I need to address this right now. My track record on plays isn't good. Do not let Hassam influence you. I will go back. I'm going to find it right now. That team sheet, that lineup thing that I made months ago, which Hassam still tries to clown me for. So, in this, I had Nico Paz. Nico Paz is going to go back to Real Madrid. That, to me, is the sign of a good footballer. I had Jarell Hatto. Jarell Hatto is a very good footballer. I had Lamine Camara. A lot of people want Lamine Camara. I had Assane Diao. Diao has just been one of the better players for Como after joining at the halfway point. What I will say is a lot of the people who doubt my players, doubt the people I bring up, they just need to wait. You just need to let it marinate. You just need to let it relax for a bit, let it grow, and you'll eventually see the vision. My talent ID ain't as bad as Hassam makes out of. In panic situations, it's not great. In panic situations, no. But in moments where I get to do me proper scouting, where I get to properly analyse, my talent ID, I'd say it's better. I'd say it's better than Hassam. I'll live by that statement. I'd say my talent ID is better than Hassam's. But Is there anything else that we need to talk about? I've got through most things actually quite quickly, you know. I've actually got through an awful lot of things quite quickly here. Is there anything else that people want me to talk about? Because I'm trying to... Have we had any other news? The Diaz stuff, I mean, you're mental if you're not taking mega money off the Saudis for Diaz, if you're asking me. 28, 2 years left on his contract. He's due a massive... he's due a massive thingy. A massive contract renewal, especially if Saudi are seriously interested in him, which will bump it up. If that's the case, I don't want to be the ones to pay him. I'll be honest. I don't want to be the ones that pay Luis Diaz. If the Saudis are giving me close to 80 million quid for Luis Diaz, I am taking that and I am running. Centre-back targets. I'll be honest, Liam, I don't know if we'll get a centre-back. I think we should get a centre-back, but I think that the priority list at this point, I'm having these three complete. You know, left back, right back, attacking mid. Striker, DM, which really should be Wharton. And then it gets a centre-back, but at that point we've spent an awful lot of money. If I need to grab a centre-back, my mega money dream would be one of Jared Branthwaite or Lukaber. If I can't get one of them and I need a guy to just do me a job for a couple of years, I'll be looking at like a Loic Bade or Alexandro Ribeiro from Lille. They're the kind of guys that we should be looking at. But I don't want to let Quanta go. I'll be honest. I know there's been a lot of talk about Quanta. I don't want to let Quanta go. I think a lot of people look at Quanta unfairly and are judging them after one wobbly season. I do not want to let Quanta go. I think he's one of the best young centre-backs on the planet. I just think he's fucking unlucky with Murphy's Law. Whenever there's a fucking mistake, he seems to be in and around it, whether it's him or not. So, I want to keep Quanta. I'm not against keeping Joe Gomez. I think Joe Gomez is a really strong option to have as a squad option because he can go right back, he can go centre back, he can go left back. I'm not against keeping Joe Gomez, but if we're after a centre back and we've got big money, it should be Branthwaite or Lukaber. If not, it should be Loic Bade or Alexandro Ribeiro. And your DM has to be Wharton. This is the non-negotiable for me. If we're, if now that Stiller's seemingly going to Real Madrid, this is the one for me. This is the guy I think Liverpool should be all after. Adam Wharton. And on the Diaz one, just before I wrap it up here, if I was to sell Diaz and I need to get a replacement, I'm going and grabbing, I've seen a lot of names like Barcola. I don't think Barcola leaves PSG this window. Anthony Gordon, very expensive, signed a new deal, don't necessarily want to do it. Rodrigo seemingly wants 400 grand a week, which is a bit of a, I don't know if we can pay that if we're giving Florian Wirtz big money. Realistically, for the left wing, you're looking at either paying big money for Nico Williams, which is or, which is the one I'm looking at, you sell Diaz for 80 and you buy Malik Fofana for 30. And then you can use that 50 million quid difference to help pay for Adam Wharton. I know that this is important. I know that this is mega. I know that getting these two through the door are really good. This is the difference between Liverpool winning the league again and not. This man. Sorry, the Champions League. This is the difference between Liverpool winning the Champions League again or this man. Adam Wharton is the guy that we need. I'm telling you right now. The moment I get a good number 9 through the door, this man. This man. This man. This man. FA Cup semi-final. FA Cup final. Arsenal. Any big game, Adam Wharton stepped up. Adam Wharton is the key, people. If you don't know, get to know. Adam Wharton is the key. He will be the biggest difference maker for us. He will be. I stand by it, he would be. You can just see with certain players if they have it. Adam Wharton has it in boatloads. He's the DM I've been most excited about seeing. He's the DM I've been most excited about seeing potentially join my football club. He's really, really good. And I know people just write him off because he's at fucking Crystal Palace. This man is top. As a centre-back, there's very few better. There's very, very few better. So for me, especially with the way that I want it to go and the way I want it to be played, you're committing him forward, you're committing him forward. He's in the box, he's sitting there, he's there. He's there. And then you would have centre-back. And then it could be Gravenberch or it could be McAllister, either or. Wharton is so good and so smart as a footballer that he can sit there or he can sit there depending on the situation. This is what we need. Adam Wharton is the best all-round DM available on the market. There isn't a Camavinga. If Camavinga became available, I'd go for Camavinga. But if Wharton's available, you grab Wharton. You grab Wharton in a heartbeat. And I'm telling you right now, this midfield three, with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai able to come in as and when needed. I'm going to quote Hassan. Khalas, it's done. Khalas, it's done. Best midfield three on the planet. Best midfield three on the planet. I'm telling you right now, best midfield three on the planet. It doesn't have a weakness. And then when you need to rest some players, when you need a bit of rotation, in comes Dominic Szoboszlai. When you need a bit of rotation, in comes Ryan Gravenberch. If my options next season in the midfield look like this, where's fucking thingy as well? If this is what my midfield depth looks like next year, Khalas, it's done. Khalas, it's done. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. There is not a single midfield piece of depth better. There is not a single midfield piece of depth better than this. Perfectly balanced. You can set up in any way you want. You want to run a double pivot? You can run a double pivot. And then you got 10s for days. You want to run a 4-3-3? You can run your 4-3-3. If you want to run it like this and this and this and this. It is set up perfectly. If Liverpool get Florian Wirtz and Adam Wharton, it is the best footballing midfield on the planet. On the fucking planet. And to people saying this, Liverpool are going to aim to play 60 games a season. If you want to win Champions League, if you want to win Carabao Cups, if you want to win FA Cups, you want to win Premier Leagues, you're playing close to 60 games a season. Gravenberch cannot start 60 games a season. McAllister can't. Szoboszlai can't. Wirtz can't. Some will play 40, some will play 20. Some will play 30, some will play 30. There is rotation perfectly set up. And when Mohamed Salah goes to AFCON, guess what? He can go up there, or he can go up there. There will be, these players will get ample amounts of playing time, trust me. Ample amounts of playing time. No one should be worrying about, is someone going to be upset because they're not playing as much? This ain't an Endo situation. Gravenberch isn't going to become Endo 10 minutes at the end of a game to close it out. He's not. He will still start plenty of games. But we need all the options. We fell apart last year. We didn't fall apart, let me say. But our season, crumbled in the Champions League and in the Cup because we couldn't progressively pass out of the press. This man, exceptional at it. This man is exceptional at it. That's why I think Liverpool should be going all out for Adam Wharton. You add him. You know, it's just perfect. If this is what our squad looks like next year, let me just draw up all the bits and pieces that I need. He's going to end up staying in this scenario. Just because I don't have Malik Fofana on my board. Yeah, just because I don't have him on my board, I'm going to grab Diaz and put him here as well. When I can find him. There he is. And then centre-back wise, it'll be Gomez, it'll be Quantz or whatever Quantz it is. Hey, let me grab Robertson real quick. Quantz and Bradley. If this is my depth for next year, perfect. Ideally, I'd like a centre-back, but if this is what my squad's looking like next year, with Mamardashvili in goal, obviously, let me go grab Mamardashvili, actually. Tell me why that team doesn't go back-to-back. Tell me why that team doesn't go Champions League final at an absolute minimum. Tell me why. Tell me why. This team, it's perfect. It is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. It is absolutely fucking perfect. Let me just rotate them two around because Jones is not starting. I do not see a single weak point in that team. I really don't. Thank you, Akia, for the super chat. Big up, Tom. I don't usually catch you live, so I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have you here, Akia. Happy to have you here. But genuinely, people, where's the problem in this squad? Where is the problem in this squad? I implore you all, I ask you all, before I end the stream, tell me the problem in this squad. Because I don't see it. People will say centre-back. Yes, I'd ideally like a centre-back. But if I've got to run it back with Gomez and Quantz for one more year, in order to get all the top targets in the positions that I need to get them in, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that. Again, so there seems to be a common sort of thing. CB depth, centre-backs, CB, centre-backs. What centre-back are we going to convince to play fifth choice? Find me a centre-back who wants to join me fifth choice. If you're not big on Quantz, you're not big on Quantz. I can't convince you to be big on Quantz. Not much I can do in that case. If you've lost vision with Quantz, you've lost vision with Quantz. Joe Gomez, the decision will be made by him if he wants to stay or if he wants to go. If he wants to stay, I'm happy to keep him around. You always need a guy who can cover pretty much every position. The only positions you could potentially look at with a bit of a ooh are centre back if you're not big on Quantz, and striker. But if we're spending the big money elsewhere, we might just have to run it back 1 year with Jota. And if Jota is running off the bench, I'm not wholly against that. Especially if you know Diaz stays and you've got another guy who can go there or there, and then you got Szoboszlai who can go positions as well. I'm not saying the guy you bring in will be fifth choice, but I'm asking you, which of these four centre-backs here would accept being fifth choice? Which of these four centre-backs would accept being fifth choice? Because the answer is none of them. The answer is none of them. None of them, none of Quantz, Van Dijk, Konate, Gomez would accept being fifth choice. Get rid of Quantz. Why do we want to get rid of Quantz? Before this, last season he was incredible. Last season he was really, really good. This season He's had a wobble. Guess what? Young players have wobbles. Young players have moments where they lose their confidence, especially when they're not playing, and especially when people hound them and harass them and kill them at any moment. I don't know why people want to pull away from Quansah. Where's the faith in him? He hasn't, though. He hasn't been making the mistakes. Others have been making the mistakes. Has Quansah made some mistakes? Yes. There have been some mistakes Quansah's made this year. But he's not been making them all. Chelsea, the penalty. That's not Quansah's fault. That's fucking Szoboszlai's. Brighton. Half them goals were fucking Konate's fault. But Quansah gets the fucking blame. I don't see it. I don't know why. I don't know why. What's so on Jarell Quansah like that? This is a young lad who, in his second season at the football club, had a wobble. He had a confidence wobble. And now we just want to throw him away. Now we just want to discard him and get the new toy in. I disagree. I disagree. If we were like that, if we were like that, certain academy players wouldn't have become the players that they are. You have to back these young lads. Quansah just needs a bit of confidence. Widow, I think our 4 centre-back options are good options, though. I think they are good options. I think Quansah, Gomez, Konate and Van Dijk are all good centre-backs. Would I be against getting, another really good one if one wanted to leave? No. But if I'm sitting here looking at this, I think all 4 of them centre-backs are good. All 4 of them centre-backs are good. Some of the Chelsea want to still parley on Conte's defender's job is to defend those situations. Oh my god. Harrison. Dominic Szoboszlai's underhit the pass. What can he do? Dominic Szoboszlai's underhit the pass and played in their striker. Or I think it was Caicedo. Whoever it was making the press. What's he supposed to do? If we get a centre-back in, but we have bigger priorities at DM, at striker, maybe at left wing. If at that point we get a centre-back, sound. But I am not willing to discard Jarell Quansah, especially this early. I still back him. What about Old Trafford last season, Bruno's goal? I never said he didn't make any mistakes. But people are acting like he makes a mistake every single time he steps on the football pitch, and that's not true. And after that mistake, he went on to be one of our better players to end the season. I am still backing Jarell Quansah. And I hope some people in the chat will do too. But people, I'm going to wrap up there. Thank you all very much for watching. This is going to redirect you to Hassam. He's going to be doing a transfer show in 10 minutes. Make sure you go there. Tell him that you're all coming from my channel. I appreciate everyone for watching. We had over 1,000 people watch this at point today. So, thank you all very much for the support. I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you. If you're new and you're not already, make sure on that like button, hit that subscribe button, you'll turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content of mine. I'm on the Top 6 show tonight at 6. And if Florian Wirtz news drops, you might see me on platforms, you might see me here. But people, big ups everyone.